Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for coming. I appreciate this visit. I think it's very important from point of view of proper evaluation of what we need to do in the future. And in general, you know that the substance and agenda of EU-Azerbaijan cooperation is very broad, and we are very satisfied with the level of cooperation in different areas, in political, economic, energy, humanitarian, and other. And of course, with respect to Eastern Partnership, you know that from the very beginning of this program, Azerbaijan was very supportive and participated actively in different events, including summits. Now, I agree that it's a time to modernize it, to review what has been done, because it's already more than a decade has passed since the program was launched. And members of Eastern Partnership made their choice. So some of them signed association agreement, some of them joined the Eurasian Economic Union. The only one is Azerbaijan, which did not join none of the formats. And economic performance, economic stability, political stability, and of course liberation of our territories show that our foreign policy was based on pragmatism and was targeted. And the main target was to restore territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, which we have done 2 years ago. Therefore, of course, there is a need to see what are the new opportunities with respect to Eastern Partnership. As far as we are concerned, we considered this program, this platform, not as a platform of cooperation between the member states, but as an additional opportunity to enhance cooperation with EU. Because with 5 other members of Eastern Partnership Group, we have different relationship. And of course, for us it was important to have additional mechanism of cooperation with European Commission. Now I think you're right, in the current geopolitical circumstances, we need to review it. As far as we're concerned, in the meantime, we worked actively on bilateral track with member states of EU. And with 9 of them, we've signed or adopted strategic partnership declarations and agreements. So this is 1/3 of member states. And I think Azerbaijan is unique among the Eastern Partnership group, the country which really achieved the strategic goal. So this is a good platform, and we consider it as a basis for our negotiations with EU on agreement. And it is moving successfully but slow. Successfully because we've completed most of the chapters, more than 90%. Slow that we got stuck with respect to the issues which we think can be resolved if we have political will from both sides. There are certain concerns in Azerbaijan because any agreement which we sign or plan to sign must give additional benefit to us and to our partners. So we cannot sign something which in a mid-term or long-term can create certain economic difficulties. Therefore, the chapters where we got stuck is basically, I think, trade, economic, and some other. I already gave instructions to our negotiators to speed up the process, and I think that there is a chance to finalize it. And I think that will be another important milestone in our cooperation. We will talk, of course, about energy development and energy diversification projects. We all know what we're talking about, but taking into account that you mentioned your visit to Armenia and that you got a message from Armenian leadership about peace. You know, we've heard these messages during all the years of occupation, that they want peace. And they were not sincere. We also wanted peace, but we also wanted our land back. They wanted peace, not giving the land back. This is the difference. And we had to resolve the conflict by force, and then by political means. Now when they talk about peace, I think it is kind of a manipulation, because if they really wanted peace, they would have responded to our proposal. It was us who made the proposal to start negotiations on peace agreement right after the war ended. And that was one of the probably unique cases in the world history. The country which had been under occupation for so many years, which restored justice by force. And after the enemy was defeated and thrown out from our territory, we offered peace. Despite all the devastation, destructions Armenians created on our territory and the sufferings of Azerbaijanis, we offered peace. We offered kind of a framework, that famous 5 principles. It was us who advocated for establishing the commissions on delimitation. It was us who was trying to find a ground for normalization of relations. Armenia was very reluctant in the first phases of the process. Now they talk about peace, but what do they mean by peace? We do not actually understand. Because our position is very clear. It has been articulated many times publicly, and also in my contacts with the leaders of European Commission, United States, Russia, the countries which have been involved and now they're involved in the process of normalization, that we need to have 2 tracks, Armenian-Azerbaijan normalization process, and also issues related to Armenian minority in Azerbaijan, in Karabakh, with respect to their rights and security. Just yesterday, I had a phone call from Secretary Blinken, and once again, we talked about that, and we have full understanding that there must be 2 tracks, and they should not be mixed up. But statements from Armenia are very controversial. They say they recognize our territorial integrity and sovereignty. Not only say, but they sign under that, in Prague and in Sochi. That means sovereignty over all our territory. We all understand what sovereignty means. At the same time, they want to incorporate issues related to Armenian minority in Azerbaijan into our peace agreement. It will not work. It is not possible. And we will not agree on that. Therefore, we need to have a very clear position from Armenian government about the agenda. And I told recently, if they want peace, we want peace. If they don't want peace, well, it is their choice. We didn't have peace for 30 years. What was the end of the story, Armenia should not forget. Therefore, again, we need to judge their actions by steps, not by words, because their words sometimes contradict what they do or what they plan. I don't know whether you got a direct answer from Armenian leadership about that. I doubt, because they want to keep this ambiguity, which is not helpful. And also, the country which wants peace should refrain from very dangerous rhetoric, which Armenian officials afforded recently, comparing Azerbaijan to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. I think is a very dangerous rhetoric. First, because they acted as ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and ambassadors of EU visited liberated territories. They did the same what was done by ISIS and Al-Qaeda with respect to historical and religious heritage. It was not us, it was them. So they committed acts of terror, they committed genocide, they destroyed our mosques, not us. But Mr. Pashinyan, when he uses this wording, he should know that we hear it. And what will be our reaction, he should also think about. So it's not easy, and I think important is that Armenia actually openly declares what do they want. If they want to talk about rights and security of Armenians in Karabakh, it will not work. we are ready to talk about that with Armenians who live in Karabakh, with, not with those who have been sent from Moscow, having in their pocket billions of stolen money from Russian people, like a person called Vardanyan, who was transferred from Moscow there with a very clear agenda. But we are ready to talk to those people in Karabakh who live there and who wants to live there. And we are ready. And by the way, this process has started. If not for external interference and attempts to block this process from some countries, which I just mentioned, I think the process could have had a better dynamic. But it has nothing to do with Pashinyan and his government. As I said, and there is a, I think, consensus between Azerbaijan, EU, United States and Russia, those countries and institutions, which Azerbaijan sees as those can be helpful.
Görüşdə Azərbaycanla Avropa İttifaqı arasında münasibətlərin inkişafı, Azərbaycanın Avropanın enerji təhlükəsizliyində oynadığı rol, nəqliyyat, kommunikasiya sahəsində əməkdaşlıq məsələləri müzakirə edildi, ölkəmizin regional nəqliyyat logistika qovşağı olması vurğulandı. Söhbət zamanı Ermənistanla Azərbaycan arasında münasibətlərin normallaşdırılması və sülh sazişinin imzalanması, sərhədlərin delimitasiyası, regional təhlükəsizlik və qarşılıqlı maraq doğuran digər məsələlər ətrafında geniş fikir mübadiləsi aparıldı.